Do you have a low CGPA? Are you wondering how you could gain admission and scholarship to study abroad? You do not necessarily need an excellent CGPA to gain admission and scholarship to study. In this video, I am going to give you more than 10 strategies that would help you gain admission and full scholarship to study abroad if you have a low CGPA. And as a bonus, I'm going to give you more than 50 universities that accept a CGPA below 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. That is not all. If your institution has a different grading system other than the CGPA of 4.0, I will demonstrate how to convert your score into a CGPA. Sit back, relax, and keep your fingers crossed. This video is a whole package. Friends, my name is Fred, and this is the Fred Effect. A lot of time and effort went into the research, scripting, shooting, and editing of this video. So it is my hope that it helps, inspires, and motivates you. A low CGPA should not kill your dream of studying abroad. As you may already know, the standard CGPA used by most universities across the world is the 4.0 CGPA scale. So technically, if your CGPA is below 3.0, it is considered to be low. My name is Fred. In case this is your first time on the channel, I am currently an international student with the Martin School of Public Policy and Administration, pursuing a master's degree in public administration. This is my second master's degree. I had my first master's from Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. And just in case you care to know, I had my bachelor's degree from the University of Cape Coast in Ghana. Fun fact, my passion is to assist prospective international students on their journey to study abroad. So as at the time of recording this video, if I'm not mistaken, I have assisted more than 1,000 people, and I continue to do that on a daily basis. So on this channel, I share valuable content on education and scholarship abroad, visa interview tips, and generally life abroad. So if this is something you are interested in, it will mean a lot to me if you click on the subscribe button. Most of the content or information I share on this platform is time sensitive. So if you click on the post notification bell, anytime I upload a video, YouTube will notify you so that you can easily check it out. Kindly share this content to others and tell someone about the Fred Effect. In most societies, one's intelligence level is measured according to their scores in the classroom. Fortunately, the Western and most especially the US and Canadian educational system is a bit diverse. So if you stay with me within a couple of minutes, I'm going to give you the strategies that will enable you gain admission and scholarship into any university, notwithstanding how low your CGPA is. After every strategy that I will be explaining, I will share with you 3 universities and colleges that emphatically state on their website that they accept a low CGPA and the CGPA cutoff point that you will need to have before you submit your application to be considered for admission. Remember, these strategies apply to both graduate and undergraduate applications. So for example, if you are from any of the West African countries and you have a low WASSCE resource, these strategies will help you gain admission and scholarship to pursue an undergraduate degree program. Now let's take note that you do not necessarily have to apply all these strategies. A combination of 2 or 3 of them will be good. So if you're ready, let's begin. The first strategy, obviously, is to apply to universities and colleges that accept low CGPA. Admission and scholarship into any educational institution is competitive. While some universities and colleges have their CGPA cutoff point to be 3.0 out of a 4.0 CGPA scale, a lot of universities and colleges out there emphatically state that they accept a CGPA below 3.0. So if you have a CGPA that is considered to be low or below 3.0, then it will be very helpful and you increase your chance of admission and scholarship if you target or focus on universities and colleges that emphatically state on their website under the admission requirement that they accept the CGPA below 3.0. So in this video, I'm going to share a lot of these universities with you. Remember that the CGPA cutoff point may differ from program to program, even in the same university. And these universities are a lot. So what I'm going to do in this video is that after every strategy, I will share with you 3 of these universities. So make sure you watch to the end of the video. So if you're ready, let's check out the first 3. The first university is California State University at Los Angeles. Right, so let's quickly look at the eligibility. So it's clearly stated here that grade point average of at least 2.5. So if your CGPA is 2.5 or above, then this is a great school to look at. The next university is Carolina State University, and under the graduate admission requirement, it states that you should have a GPA of 2.5 or higher. If you want to apply for a PhD program, then it has to be a 3.0 or higher. The next university is Delaware State University, and let's quickly check this out. Under the requirement, it clearly states here that if you have a cumulative GPA of 2.5 or above. The second strategy, if you have a low CGPA, is to submit your application as early as possible. A lot of universities and colleges admission committee wait till the end of the admission period before they start reviewing applications. However, most universities review applications as applicants submit them. Take note that there are universities and colleges that offer early admission or early decision plan. This information is according to the non-profit organization College Board. So applying early increases your chances of admission and scholarship, even if you have a low CGPA. If you are looking at joining the program in the fall semester, then submitting your application as early as November, December through to January will be perfect. Now, this will highly depend on the application start date of the university or college in question. Talking about university or college, let's move on to the second batch of. We have Winona State University, and clearly it's indicated that you must have at least a 2.5 cumulative GPA on a 4.0 scale to be able to apply. Let me zoom in a little bit. The next is Upper Iowa University, and if you click on any of the programs, it says that you should have at least a CGPA of 2.5. That's over here. So this is the business administration program, MBA. Let's look at the public administration program. The same thing. It's 2.75 to be able to apply. It's free to apply. So over here, complete the online application to begin your graduate education. It's free and it takes about 15 minutes. So it's free to apply to this university. The minimum CGPA is 2.57 for most of the programs. So Master of Counseling, the same thing. Next, let's look at University of Arkansas at Little Rock. It also states here that the minimum CGPA requirement is 2.75. The next strategy, if you have a low CGPA, is to opt for a transcript or credential evaluation. Course by course credential evaluation has the propensity of increasing your CGPA. Let me explain. Your CGPA might be low as a result of resitting or retaking some courses that you had failed during your undergraduate. If you are familiar with how CGPA is being calculated, the courses you failed, and even though you had to resit and pass them, will contribute to your CGPA. With the course by course credential evaluation, the courses that you failed will be taken out. And so if you had an A in a course that you failed but passed later on, that would be used to evaluate your transcript. So technically, this will increase your CGPA. So I would highly recommend this option. Unfortunately, the transcript evaluation may cost you. So in the YouTube video description, I would give cheaper options. The transcript evaluation is done by a third party, not the university. Some universities like San Francisco Bay University would evaluate it for you. Let's move on to the third batch of 3 universities that accept a low CGPA. We have Southern Illinois University. Southern Illinois University has a lot of programs. So every program has the CGPA requirement. Now we are looking at the Master of Science in Aviation Management, and the CGPA cutoff is 2.7 out of a 4.0. The next is Bridgewater State University. And Bridgewater has a lot of programs, so it highly depends on which program you intend to apply for. So the Physical Sciences has a CGPA requirement of 2.75. The next is Central Connecticut State University. Central Connecticut State University, and the CGPA requirement is 2.7. So if you have applicants with an undergraduate GPA of 2.7 to 2.99 may apply for conditional part-time admission. On my fourth strategy, I would urge you to focus on other components or parts of your application. In this video, I list all the documents you need if you want to apply to any university or college abroad. I will share the link to this video in the YouTube video description. You can check it out when you finish watching this one. It is very clear that the transcript, and for that matter, your CGPA, is only one component of the required application document. So my point is that there are other required documents that you need to focus on, and not only your CGPA. The low CGPA might be your weakness, but your strength may lie in other application documents, such as your recommendation letters, CV, and statement of purpose. Now, to confirm this, I had an email conversation with an admissions officer in one of the universities in the US, and the response will surprise you. It is important to note that the educational system in the Western world do not have any classifications as first class, second class, upper, second class lower, or even a third class. It is important to know that your CGPA does not define your abilities or performance. So I would recommend that you get very strong recommendation letter. Put much effort and time into writing a good statement of purpose or statement of intent. Your resume or CV should highlight your project, internship, work experience, and publications. This will make the admission committee see that you never lost focus on your career. This may not be required as part of your application, but you need to highlight other qualifications and certificates you have attained. Explain in your statement of purpose or in a separate letter the reason why you got such a low CGPA. Now listen, a lot of people are brilliant, but they may have a low CGPA because of ill health or any other complication. Your overall CGPA might be less. There might be chances that you had very good scores in some subject or courses. You can highlight that in your SOP or a separate explanation letter and attach it to your application. So in a nutshell, it's not all about your CGPA, but your overall application profile. Let's look at the next batch of universities that have low CGPA listed in the application requirement. Next, we are looking at Wayne State College. Wayne State College is located at Nebraska. So if you scroll down to the admission requirement, it clearly states that students must present an undergraduate GPA of 2.7 or higher on a 4.0 scale for regular admission. The next university is Norfolk State University, and Norfolk State University is located in Virginia, and clearly it states on the admission requirement that a minimum grade point average of 2.5 on a 4.0 scale. So 2.5 clearly stated here. The next is Wheaton College Graduate School. So Wheaton College is located at Illinois in the city of Wheaton. So the requirement is a GPA of 2.75 minimum. The next strategy, if you have a low CGPA, is to opt for a second bachelor's degree, an accelerated program, or a fast-track program. If you have a low CGPA, you have the opportunity or option to apply for another bachelor's degree. This will give you an opportunity to put in your best before you prepare to enter into a graduate program. And in fact, some universities encourage people to do that. To give you an example, a university like Emporia State University, located at Kansas, has such an opportunity like a second bachelor's degree program. This program is designed purposely for people who have already attained a bachelor's degree and want to pursue a second bachelor's degree. I will share the links to their website in the YouTube video description. Kindly check them out. Having attained a bachelor's degree already, it is easy to gain admission and scholarship into a second bachelor's degree program into any university. Now, this will mean that in your application, you would have to combine both your high school qualification as well as your first bachelor's degree to apply. Now, sometimes due to age, you might want to consider an accelerated master's degree program or a fast-track master's degree program. Let me explain. So usually, a bachelor's degree is for 4 years, and a master's degree mostly is for a year or 2. Now, with a fast track or an accelerated degree program, you have an opportunity to combine both the bachelor's and master's degree in 5 years, sometimes 4 years. Now, let me give you some of the examples of the universities that offer accelerated degree program. We have Kansas State University, Credential University, Wentworth Institute of Technology, Nicholas College, University of Delaware, and Western Colorado University. There are more that I will list in the YouTube video description. Kindly check them out. So if you have a low CGPA, I would encourage you to go for such an option. Now let's move on to the next batch of universities or colleges that accept low CGPA. Starting with Illinois State University, and it's not all their programs. However, a couple of their programs, such as the Masters in Agriculture, that is the agribusiness. If you scroll to the university admission requirement, you should have a minimum 2.8 GPA on a scale in which an A is 4.0. So that is it. The next university is Morehead State University, and in their Master of Business Administration program, it clearly states here that a minimum 2.5 undergraduate GPA is required. Next, we go to North Carolina Central University, and if you scroll to their requirement, a minimum 2.75 GPA. Note, some programs may have a higher GPA requirement. Before we move on to the next strategy, if the information I'm sharing in this video is useful, please help the channel to grow by clicking on the subscribe button, hit on the notification bell, tell someone about the Fred Effect. It will be great if you give this video a thumbs up and share it to other people. I am passionate and always ready to be of assistance. So in the comment section, let me hear from you if you need any further assistance. So the next strategy, if you have a low CGPA, is to opt for a conditional admission. Conditional admission, also known as provisional admission or conditional acceptance, means that you will be considered for admission into a college or university on condition that you will make up for certain requirements that you do not presently meet. A lot of universities and colleges will consider your application for admission and scholarship even though you do not currently meet the CGPA requirement. Now, after enrollment, you'll be allowed to take certain courses to make up for these CGPA requirements. Now, this will give you the opportunity to meet up the CGPA requirement. A typical example is the Communications Department of Southern Utah University. Now, let's take the next batch of universities and colleges that accept low CGPA. San Francisco Bay University. This is the admission requirement. And guess what? There's a free application. So until June 15th, as at the time of recording this video, 2022, you can apply for free. And here is it. You should have a bachelor's degree with a CGPA of 2.5 or above. So if your CGPA is below 2.5, you do not qualify. That's what they emphatically state here. So it is free to apply, and if you have a CGPA of 2.5 or above, then you qualify to apply. The next school is Troy University, Troy University, and I love this. So the minimum CGPA requirement is over here. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's 2.5. However, they have a conditional admission. So conditional admission may be granted under certain circumstances to applicants who cannot satisfy all unconditional admission requirements. And so if you don't meet the CGPA requirement, then you can be considered for conditional admission. The next university is Colorado Christian University. And Colorado Christian University, first of all, is free to apply. So, and the CGPA requirement is 2.5 on a 4.0 scale. So they say that applicants with an undergraduate grade point average between 2.0. So if you have a CGPA as low as 2.0 to 2.49, you'll be admitted on conditional basis. So, you know, after the couple of semesters, that's after 9 credit, student must obtain a 3.0 GPA or better. So if you have 2.0 or above, I will highly encourage that you go for the Colorado Christian University. Next strategy, if you have a low CGPA, is to target or apply to universities and colleges that are less known and high acceptance rate. Obviously, a lot of universities and colleges are high ranked and very popular. So a lot of applicants compete for spots in these universities and colleges. It will be very unfair for me to mention names of such universities and colleges in this video. However, in the YouTube video description, I will share a link to a website that ranks universities and also let you know their acceptance rate. The whole idea is to opt for universities with high acceptance rate and then less known. That would increase your chances of admission and scholarship if you have a low CGPA. So at this website, you can locate the universities, the acceptance rate, links to their website, student population, and even the cost of attendance. The next batch of 3 colleges and universities that accept low CGPA. We have Nicholls State University. And if you scroll down to the general admission requirement, it clearly states that you have to get a grade point average at least 2.50 on undergraduate work or 2.7 on the last 60 hours. The next is Bradley University. Let's scroll down. Under the admission requirement, your applicants with at least 2.5 GPA may be considered on the basis of a combination of other factors, including but not limited to scores on standardized tests, preparation at the undergraduate level, quality of work, recommendations, and other relevant factors. The next is Loras College, and if you look at the Master of Arts in School Counseling, you scroll down and then the admission criteria and application checklist. A minimum cumulative GPA of at least 2.75 or at least 2.9 in the last 60 credits. The next strategy that I'll be talking about is to have a high score in GRE or GMAT. Now, I know most people wouldn't want to hear this, but a high GRE or GMAT score increases your chances of admission and scholarship, even if you have a low CGPA. the GRE and GMAT gives you the opportunity to redeem yourself and make admission committee note that you are worthy of admission. So most universities and colleges recommend GRE and GMAT for applicants who have a low CGPA. If you are applying for a bachelor's degree, then a good SAT or ACT score will be very helpful. Talking about helpful, let's look at the next batch of 3 universities and colleges that accept a low CGPA. This will also be very helpful. We have University of Massachusetts located in Boston, and this is a great school. If you scroll down to the GPA requirement, it clearly states a minimum cumulative GPA of 2.75 on a 4.0 scale. Let's go to the next, which is Cleveland University, Kansas City. So we scroll down to the requirement and it states undergraduate GPA of 2.75 on a 4.0 scale. The next is Berkeley College. Berkeley College has a minimum cumulative GPA requirement of 2.5 on a 4.0 scale. The next strategy that I'll be talking about is communication. What I mean is that even though you might have a low CGPA, you check on the university's website and they require a CGPA above what you have. It is important to communicate with the director of the program. Share your transcript with him or her, then let him know your CGPA and ask if you can still go ahead and apply. In most cases, you're going to receive a negative feedback. However, who knows, you might be asked to go ahead and submit your application. So I always recommend that you don't submit your application even with a high CGPA without talking to the director of the program you intend to apply. If you watch this video, I explain all the steps you need to go through if you want to study abroad, and I emphasize very much on communication. Shall we now take the next batch of universities and colleges that accept low CGPA? So University of Southern Indiana, if you look at their criminal justice program, and you scroll to the requirement, it's 2.5 from an accredited college or university. So the next is Longwood University, and on the admission requirements, it's a minimum of 2.75 overall undergraduate GPA on a 4.0 scale. If you're interested in health related programs, this is a good school. Louisiana State University, the Center of Health in Shreveport. So the minimum CGPA requirement according to their website is at least 2.5 for undergraduate work and 3.0 for graduate work. The last strategy that I'm going to give you in this video is to opt for new program or universities and colleges that do not require application fee. Now, every now and then, universities and colleges introduce new programs. Because the programs are new, there is a possibility of low competition in terms of application and admission. There is low competition because a lot of people may not know about it. If you're able to research and identify the university that has rolled out new programs, then I will urge you to go ahead and apply to such programs if you have a low CGPA. Every now and then, a lot of universities waive their application fees to encourage more applicants. On this channel, I have already uploaded a video in which I share more than 30 universities that you can apply for free. So this is the video, and if you scroll down to the YouTube video description, I shared a Google document in which I list a lot of universities that are currently waiving their application fee. I keep on updating this document to reflect the current universities and colleges waiving their application fee. So if you watch this video, I give strategies that you can use to get an application fee waiver to any university, and I share a lot of universities you can apply for free. I'll share the link to this video in the YouTube video description. Kindly check it out. Now, since there are no application fees involved, you don't lose anything if you miss out on admission and scholarship. Shall we take the last batch of universities and colleges with low CGPA requirements? Hastings College. Under the Master of Arts in Teaching, the minimum CGPA requirement is 2.75 on a 4.0 CGPA scale. University of Tennessee at Martin. This one is located in the city called Martin. Now, the minimum CGPA requirement is applicants must have at least 2.50 cumulative grade point average on all work attempted. This is public administration degree with a concentration in criminal justice at Westfield State University, and if you check their requirement is a minimum of 2.8 GPA overall or minimum of 3.0 GPA for at least last 2 years of undergraduate studies. A lot of time went into putting this video together. It will mean a lot to me if you share this content. I will be glad to hear from you if any of the strategies I mentioned has been helpful to you. In the comment section, let me hear from you if there are any strategies that I did not touch on. It will be great to share ideas. I am very active on Twitter. My Twitter handle is rolling on the screen, so you can easily link up via Twitter. I tweeted how you could convert your percentage scores into a CGPA. Most of the United States and Canadian universities use, that is the CGPA of the scale 4.0. So you can check that out and do the conversion if your school uses a different grading system. Tell someone about the Fred effect. Subscribe if you are yet to. Like the video. Check out other videos on this channel. My name is Fred and this has been the Fred effect.